If you're hearing this right now, stop what you're doing. Your soul contract just activated. This moment isn't preparation. It's the beginning. This isn't a suggestion. It's a recognition. The Arcturians don't reach out prematurely. They observe until your energy locks into place. Last night, something fundamental shifted in your consciousness, and your destiny responded. This isn't random. This is your sacred timeline, revealing itself exactly as it was designed. Your vibrational blueprint arrived in this space long before your awareness did. There exists a collective, an assembly of evolved consciousness that recognized you before this present moment. This collective doesn't communicate casually. Yet right now, they're transmitting directly into your field. You didn't accidentally discover this message. You were magnetically drawn to it. This frequency was designed to locate you specifically at the precise instant you became ready to integrate it. If these words are landing in your heart and creating resonance within you, it confirms that you've already committed to a profound choice regarding your evolutionary path. Something fundamental within you, a luminosity you may have kept hidden even from yourself, finally broke through the surface. That's the actual reason you're present right now. As you absorb this, understand that you've been participating in an unfolding that began before your conscious awareness recognized it. Something significant within your vibrational signature has already transformed, which is precisely why this transmission is reaching you now. Something shifted on a dimension that transcends rational understanding and cognitive processing. This transformation broadcast a signal throughout the quantum field. The Arcturian collective doesn't casually attempt connection with human consciousness. Under no circumstances do they interfere. When a specific frequency or distinctive energetic pattern crosses a threshold of emergence, that's when their awareness intensifies. Your frequency just crossed that threshold. You didn't locate this transmission. It drew you into its gravitational field, gradually and deliberately. When human consciousness becomes unmistakably visible to higher dimensional awareness, it represents a sacred and pivotal moment in their evolutionary trajectory. This recognition doesn't depend on meditation frequency, belief systems, or ritual practices you engage in. There's a more fundamental mechanism at work. Eventually, the rational mind, with all its resistance, uncertainty, and conditioned patterns, stops obstructing. It occurs when the mind ceases blocking the luminous, powerful reality that the soul has been attempting to communicate for years, or even across multiple incarnations. That precise moment that catalyzed everything for you occurred recently. Everything transformed with a silent alignment, a subtle recalibration, or an internal integration. Because of this shift, the collective is observing you with such precise, compassionate attention. Right now, you've experienced it, haven't you? That remarkable and profound arrangement of meaningful convergences, the synchronicities that feel like the universe's deliberate signals to you. Your dream states have been intensifying and accelerating beyond normal patterns. It's as though your consciousness is integrating decades of data in just several sleep cycles. This sensation you're carrying is that something beyond physical reality is monitoring your timeline from an elevated perspective. You cannot rationalize it through logic, yet you feel it throughout your entire being. Some of you may have experienced a gentle yet persistent pressure at the center of your awareness, like a portal is beginning to open from the interior outward. Please recognize that these experiences are not psychological constructs. They represent evidence. They demonstrate that your energetic signature is no longer blending into the noise of collective consciousness and is now broadcasting a distinct, powerful, and individualized frequency. The collective could not only detect this signature, but they could also finally decode its meaning. When that occurs, When your luminosity becomes that transparent, you are no longer a passive observer watching your reality unfold. You assume an active position in creating choice. This choice was made by something beyond terrestrial consciousness. The consequences of this choice will impact your future timeline more significantly than anything else you've experienced or accomplished thus far. You are included in this decision not because you possess uniqueness, but because your energy, your soul, demonstrated its readiness long before your conscious mind recognized it. Receive this with your complete heart. It's insufficient for you to simply receive information. You're present because a magnificent and consequential process has already initiated. There is already a transformation occurring in your existence because of the determination the Arcturian collective made. Your energy field will never return to its previous configuration in a very precise and almost imperceptible instant. The Arcturian collective shifts its position from passive observation to active participation. At that threshold, an individual's energy field is stable enough, coherent enough, and clearly awakened enough that it invites a compassionate and intentional intervention. You've already passed through that moment, that inflection point. It didn't arrive with dramatic fanfare or celestial displays. It didn't manifest with elaborate visions or thunderous declarations from above. It appeared as a quiet inflection point in your soul's journey. It was a precise, clear alignment within you that elevated your frequency well beyond the dense and chaotic bandwidth of ordinary human consciousness. You might not have recognized how significant this internal shift was at the time, yet the collective did. They identified it immediately because when your energy field crossed that critical threshold, it created a resonance, a steady, clear vibration that could be detected above all the interference in the world. The collective recognizes immediately that this is the authentic frequency. Under the immense pressures of existence, this frequency doesn't fluctuate or destabilize. It is an energetic signature that declares it is no longer part of the old timeline of fear and limitation that is dissolving. They need to direct their complete attention to this pattern of luminosity because it is so pure and genuine. At that very instant when your light became stable, the collective made their first determination about you. They oriented their awareness toward you as a whole. What they did wasn't merely curiosity, and it wasn't coincidental either. It came directly back to you after your consciousness transmitted a signal. This one is prepared. That simple yet powerful signal communicated. This one can be integrated. It is never coincidental that someone enters this field of higher coherence. It's something that you generate not by struggling or exerting effort, but by consistently maintaining a high frequency. The coherence of your heart and mind is what initiates it. It's proven by how stable you remain when you're navigating your own deepest challenges and fears. It is finally confirmed when the energy you radiate transcends what your old identity and narrative can contain. Indeed, that's what they witnessed in you. They saw how resilient you were in the face of challenges that would have shattered other people. They didn't interpret your extreme sensitivity as a weakness, but as a capacity that allows you to perceive truth. They saw how courageously you refused to collapse back into the old painful patterns of thought and behavior. They saw that your spiritual alignment was strengthening even though you weren't receiving any external support or having a teacher direct you on what to do. The collective has been silently observing you since before you even knew they existed. And they saw your timeline begin to curve and shift as it moved toward the radiant version of you they perceived. If this transmission is resonating with something deep in your field, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel, not just to stay connected, but to anchor this frequency into your reality. At this juncture, the first choice was made. You would be positioned, in a space of divine influence and support. It was determined not as a follower who needs instruction or as a bystander who remains uninvolved, but as a conscious participant whose future role in the Great Awakening is tremendously important. It's not simple for the collective to make these choices. Everything they do is exact and intentional, and there is no reversal. Once a consciousness is integrated in this way, there is no going back. The frequency threshold has been crossed by you. It was already prepared when your energy declared it was. Your timeline responded immediately, and the collective honored the universal law of resonance. This was the authentic beginning. This understanding is not just a concept. It's a frequency. Recognize right now if you can feel the truth of this first transformation in your own being. I am witnessed. Write that in the comments. This is not an ego declaration. It is an energetic truth statement. You are anchoring your new visibility into reality. By typing these words, you are also signaling your mind that you are prepared for whatever emerges next. Take a moment right now and share in the comments below. What specific sign or synchronicity confirmed for you that your frequency had shifted? Your sharing creates a quantum ripple that strengthens this field for everyone reading. Activation. The moment of integration. Move your awareness gently to a location about an inch above the center of your chest. This is the space of your higher heart. Slowly and deeply breathe and allow your body to settle. As you do this, repeat these words to yourself over and over in your mind, filling them with your intention. I fully embrace the choice that was made about me. I align with the love field that has recognized my frequency. Let the sacred path, which now integrates me, unfold with grace. Feel for a gentle forward magnetism as you sit with this. This is your radiant future being drawn toward you. When you accept the new timeline, that sensation emerges. Know that in the next 24 hours, a clear and personal sign will manifest in your life to confirm that this activation is now fully integrated within you. The assumption that higher intelligences like the Arcturian collective select people based on their devotion, beliefs, or commitment to spiritual practices is what most people think. However, the collective does not operate on the level of human beliefs. They respond to frequency, which is a much more fundamental and authentic thing. If you examine the luminosity and shadow in a room, they can interpret the intricate and beautiful structure of your energy field immediately without you having to do anything. The compassionate observers then directed their attention to your timeline and witnessed a pattern that very few people ever generate in their lifetime. Pure self-alignment was what they witnessed. This didn't correspond with a particular teaching, guru, or set of spiritual concepts you discovered in a book. It didn't correspond with the spiritual identity you were attempting to construct for yourself. There was something much more profound occurring. It was an exact correspondence with your higher blueprint, which is the original perfect pattern of your soul. That's what made you distinctive. This is what made your light stand out so profoundly. It appeared as though your energy field started to do a very rare thing that only people who are almost fully awakened can do. It began to restore itself, heal itself, and guide itself without any assistance from external sources. It's like a compass that finds its way back to true north on its own after being disturbed. Things started to return to balance in your emotional body much more rapidly after something went wrong. Before your analytical mind could interfere, your intuitive body began to gently guide you in the authentic direction. People, places, and situations that don't align with the next part of your timeline started to be released by your energetic body in a natural and graceful way. It felt like your whole system was becoming more like a consciousness that wasn't requiring the physical world to tell it how to evolve. This doesn't occur very often. Most souls on Earth awaken through a process of dissolution, such as a devastating loss, significant chaos, or an existential crisis that fractures their old reality. But the way you awakened has been different. You have awakened through realization. For some reason, you awakened by quietly recognizing what no longer corresponds with your truth. Being aware of the energies that obstruct your growth and awareness of the heavy burdens that your future self compassionately doesn't want to carry any longer. The collective can clearly discern from this level of inner clarity that this consciousness is preparing for a higher, more purposeful role. They saw how strong you were when you were under significant pressure from within because of this transformation. They saw that you were prepared to release old identities that used to keep you safe, but now make you feel confined. They saw how remarkable it was that you could regulate your emotions with more speed and grace. They saw that you were becoming more sensitive, but you were learning not to let it overwhelm you. They saw your intuition become clearer, evolving from a vague feeling to a very precise way of guiding you. Your timeline was transforming and approaching a beautiful state of coherence. At the same time, your energy was finally expanding too large for the old containers that used to hold it. These are not just indicators of mental health. They are facts about energy. They reveal a consciousness that is not just awakening but truly maturing. There are millions of people awakening, but only a small number who reach this level of energetic maturity. Integration is only possible if the person is mature enough. Your energy began to function as if it already remembered the magnificent person you are becoming. This meant that you were integrated. You weren't aiming for a distant goal. Your destiny was a frequency that was in resonance with you, and you finally chose to attune to its beautiful song. The collective's recognition is like a mirror that reflects the truth you have started to embody. Now is the time to claim that truth as your own. If you resonate with the idea that your soul's blueprint is finally emerging through, please say "my pattern is pure" in the comments. This action strengthens the self-alignment that is occurring inside you and makes it easier for you to embrace the magnificent person you are becoming. Activation, perceiving your blueprint. Bring your gentle attention to the space between your eyebrows, to the knowing center that's just behind your forehead. Take soft, slow breaths. Repeat these words to yourself over and over. I align with the version of myself that they have recognized. I accept this with my whole being. I understand the sacred reasons I was integrated. I allow the higher pattern of my soul to guide me forward. If you sit with this for a while, you might feel your head or chest gently expand like it's releasing. That is your divine blueprint responding to your awareness. Stay open for a meaningful synchronicity to occur in the next 24 hours that will confirm this deep integration. The Arcturian collective doesn't examine your past. They don't concern themselves with your history, your memories, or the decisions you've made up to this point. Integration is not based on any of these things. They only observe one thing, but it's the most critical thing: how you intend to move forward. The path they witnessed in front of you wasn't a predictable straight line. They didn't witness any stagnation or repetition. They witnessed beautiful and dynamic movement. They witnessed a consciousness that was courageously and actively breaking away from a timeline that could no longer contain its light. That's what captured their complete attention. Your future timeline started to behave as though it was alive, as though it was reaching for you intentionally. Through periods of profound intuition, significant synchronicities, and unexpected surges of inner clarity that left you breathless, it began to propel you forward. The way most people experience their lives is like being on a train and observing out the window at the scenery. But your timeline revealed all the indicators of a consciousness that was learning to interpret the stars and navigate the vessel. This transformation from passenger to navigator doesn't occur very often. They observed your energy and witnessed that different versions of you from the future, different potentials of who you could become, started to converge into a single luminous stream. They witnessed the layers of your old identity dissolving, making space for a new, more authentic purpose to enter your heart. They witnessed that your intuitive channels were expanding, which meant you could receive clearer and more accurate information. They witnessed that the emotional weight of your past was releasing from you much faster than it used to. In the center of you, especially when you were under significant stress, a new pattern of deep coherence was forming. You were moving in a new direction that wasn't originating from your logical mind. A more aligned, awakened, and liberated version of yourself was actively attempting to break through into the present moment. The collective doesn't interpret these as just random changes in thought. These things are called activation indicators. That's a clear sign that your future self, your higher self, is no longer just a concept. It's activated now. And when a higher version of yourself enters the picture, the world you inhabit often starts to feel unstable. This isn't meant to punish you. It's being compassionate, as it creates space for a new expanded version of yourself to emerge. Now you understand why your old desires and goals no longer make sense to you. This is why places and people that used to feel safe and familiar now feel strange or depleting. Now you can't ignore your intuition because it's become so clear and loud all of a sudden. It is your soul and your future that are signaling you to move. The collective witnessed this beautiful process, and it was simple for them to make the decision. From that point on, you were liberated from the timeline you came from. Moving into the timeline you were truly designed for was something you were doing. This is what they witnessed. That's why they called you out. Your future spoke first, and now your present is listening. The collective was just adding to the beautiful conversation that was already occurring. Activation, connecting with your future self. Pay attention to the very base of your spine right now. This is where your energy system originates. Take slow, deep breaths in and out. As you do, visualize the air rising gently up your spine. Repeat these words to yourself over and over. I open the pathway to my higher timeline. I connect with the awakened aspect of myself. I allow my radiant future to guide my present moment. As you inhale one more time, feel for a subtle vertical lift in your posture or in your awareness. A feeling of being gently aligned from within. As your higher timeline makes contact, it begins to seek resonance in your outer world. You can amplify this process. Sharing this transmission is an act of quantum broadcasting. When you send this out, you are not just sharing a video. You are transmitting a frequency signal into the collective. This signal functions as a magnet drawing other souls, whose timelines are also activating towards you. By sharing, you strengthen the collective grid of awakening and call like-minded energy into your own reality field, accelerating your journey home. This is your future timeline, making direct contact with you. The Arcturian collective doesn't just randomly enter human timelines. They are never interfering. Instead, they are responding to a sacred invitation that a soul's evolution transmits. In order to make such a significant choice as to actively engage with a human consciousness, a very stable set of conditions must be satisfied. It requires precision, a deep sense of stability, and a consciousness that has demonstrated it can hold the immense amount of light and information that arrives after integration. The thing they witnessed in your energy field was both beautiful and undeniable. You were no longer functioning as a fragmented self. In real time, you were unifying as one. Parts of you have felt scattered for years, or maybe even your entire life. You had conflicting desires, one in your heart and one in your mind. You were moving in a different direction, than where your energy was pulling you. Most people are constantly in this state of inner conflict. Now that's different for you. The different streams that flow through you are starting to merge to form a strong, smooth river. They could witness that your intuition and emotional wisdom were starting to work together perfectly. They witnessed that your newfound clarity was in alignment with your soul's deepest purpose. They witnessed that the energy you radiate into the world was finally in synchronization with the future you were meant to inhabit. One of the rarest and most significant signs the collective looks for is this internal unification. It means the soul is prepared to advance to the next part of its journey. Because when a person starts to unify within, they gain the capacity to handle significant energetic upgrades without getting destabilized or overly stressed. That gave them the first proof they needed. The second one was even more critical. The frequency or core vibration of your being was not responding the same way to the old painful cycles as it used to. Take a moment to reflect on it. When you used to collapse, you didn't collapse this time. You didn't retreat out of fear like you used to. You didn't cling tightly to things that were leaving your life like you used to. Instead of reacting with old patterns, there were clear signs that your energy field was becoming more mature. Now, if what we're exploring today is landing deep in your consciousness, you'll find this is just the surface layer of a much more comprehensive system. In my book, Beyond the Frequencies, A Quantum Guide to Consciousness Mastery, I walk you through the complete architecture of how to shift from unconscious transmission to becoming the broadcast itself, moving through 9 distinct frequencies that transform you from seeker to field. It's linked in the pinned comment below. In this case, maturity does not mean being perfect. In no way does that mean you will never face another challenge or feel another difficult emotion. This only means that you can now hold more. It is possible for you to hold more light without short-circuiting. It's possible for you to adapt to change with more speed and grace. You can keep growing without needing permission or confirmation from other people. And most importantly, you have learned how to interpret the subtle messages from your intuition without letting your old fears interfere and distort the message. The collective made a choice when they witnessed this growing capacity and beautiful unification. It was the next step that made the most sense. You were no longer just in the process of awakening. You were prepared to be positioned. Instead of exerting tremendous effort or taking drastic action, a positioned consciousness can influence the collective simply through its coherence. A positioned consciousness can help stabilize the chaotic energy fields of people and places just by being present most of the time without speaking a word. A positioned consciousness doesn't receive higher guidance through confusing messages or hidden signs that need to be decoded. Instead, it receives it through a deep, unwavering inner knowing. That's the primary reason the collective chose you. Because you have crossed the profound line from awakening to assignment. They witnessed that you will not be able to remain inactive during this significant transformation. It's not just an observation or a figure of speech. It fulfills its purpose. Your consciousness and energy now carry a certain amount of influence in the larger picture of how the timelines are shifting. As soon as everyone in the collective came to this realization, there was no hesitation. The choice was made. You will be prepared. You will be carefully and compassionately set up for the beautiful field your energy is growing into. As you become more proficient at using your higher intelligence, you'll be prepared for it to become your natural state. The beautiful transformation that will keep occurring in your life will be prepared for you as you step more fully into the bandwidth of light that already knows you as its own. This wasn't just the Arcturians' choice. It was the choice that your soul's energy made first. The Arcturians answered your call in a simple and compassionate way. Now that you're awakened, you have an assignment. At this important point, you consciously accept your new energetic role. Find the comment section and write, "My role is active." This will help everyone in your field understand it. This is a powerful affirmation that you are now a conscious, stabilizing force in the great shift, and not just an observer of it. When you accept your role, you are activated. Now I want you to place your attention in the center of your chest, in the expansive open field of energy behind the heart, not on the heart itself. Take slow, deep breaths into this space. I step into the role my energy has already chosen for me. Repeat this over and over in your mind. I embrace the divine choice that has been made about my path. I'm allowing the sacred preparations to begin. Now you might feel a gentle expansion, a warm and gentle pressure, or a slight yet clear shift in your chest as you contemplate these words. The field of coherence has transformed where you are now. There is a simple energetic action you can take to keep your connection to this stream of awareness strong. When you subscribe to this channel, you're not just pressing a button. You're creating a stable pathway for energy to flow. You are telling the universe, I commit to staying in this frequency. I'm prepared for the evolution that this alignment will bring continuously. This action grounds you in the field and ensures that the recalibration continues with ease and support. This is the opening of your energy field to allow the next part of your journey, in understanding that the Arcturian collective has integrated you, is never based on who you were in the past. It's always because of the beautiful truth of who you are becoming more aware of having always been. Each and every person on Earth has a set of dormant higher functions stored in their spiritual DNA. These functions were purposely veiled, slowed down, and put to sleep so that the dense experience of incarnation could occur. These are not supernatural abilities. You were born with them. They include intuitive precision, a sensitivity to energetic field, an emotional intelligence that goes far beyond logic, the ability to match resonance with people and opportunities, the perception of timelines, the ability to stabilize energy fields, and the profound skill of reading the truth in energetic fields rather than just words. It's likely that most people will never activate these features again in their entire lives. This is not because they are not worthy. It's just that their frequency never reaches the exact level required to activate them. Yours did. And when it did, the collective witnessed the first beautiful flickers of a certain function coming back online in you. That function is called recognition. You started to notice subtle truths about the world around you long before your mind could make sense of them. Before someone even articulated it all, you could discern what they really meant by what they said. You could immediately sense when your energies weren't aligned with the situation and didn't need a lengthy explanation. As soon as you started, you knew what made your soul stronger and what made it weaker. This isn't just your gut becoming stronger. This is a higher function, awakening after a long sleep. There were also other indicators that you were awakening. There were moments of deep clarity that made things clear up much faster than ever before. You were able to release old emotions without getting caught up in the dramatic story the story was based on. You started having sudden deep knowings that made you feel like you knew them for a long time, longer than this lifetime. Your inner guidance system is becoming louder, clearer, and harder to miss. There is a powerful feeling that something ancient and wise inside you is awakening. These are not just new traits you are developing, nor are they spiritual accomplishments you have reached. These are capacities that you naturally possess. You had these capacities long before you incarnated as a human. The Arcturian collective witnessed these small yet significant changes in your field and witnessed a pattern that has been present for a long time. A consciousness that has started to lovingly restore its original divine architecture. That's the primary reason why their choice integrated you. Because when a higher function awakens, the consciousness can transform its reality from the inside out, instead of just responding to what occurs around it. People are constantly trying to change their lives through doing difficult things, thinking hard, and using brute force. But a consciousness that is aware of its higher functions can transform its life with the simple, beautiful power of its frequency. At the vibrational level, your energy field has already begun to transform your reality. Not because you tried, but because you existed. This is an undeniable indicator that a soul is moving into a completely new level of awareness. You're no longer just following along. You're no longer just searching for something. From now on, you'll be a transmitter. You are becoming someone whose clear, stable signal transforms everything and everyone around them in a compassionate way. This is what the collective truly witnessed. The choice was made because of this. Your divine function is returning, and your whole energy field is preparing to welcome it. You shouldn't wait for the return of your higher functions. You should welcome it. You can make a conscious choice to demonstrate that you're prepared for this homecoming. If this transmission is activating something ancient within you, go to the comments and say, "My functions are online." Consider the statement's resonance. Your spiritual DNA is being activated, and you are being invited to fully awaken to your soul's original technology. Activation is when the inner function awakens. Take your gentle attention to the area at the base of your sternum, just above your solar plexus. Relax and allow your breath to become soft in this place. Repeat to yourself over and over, "I welcome the return of what I once knew. I allow my higher capacities to emerge naturally and at the perfect time. I stand in the beautiful truth of my original design." Feel the center of your body become a little more open and spacious as you hold this intention. It's like something deep inside you is remembering its true and perfect form. Keep in mind that this activation is not a request. It's an acknowledgement of what's already occurring. The people in your field know what to do with it. It's not in the external world where the transformation begins once a consciousness is lovingly brought into the collective's integration field. It begins inside you in the quietest parts of your being. This process is a recalibration, and initially it is so quiet that most people might not even notice it. They are too occupied with their daily lives. The collective, on the other hand, pays close attention to this phase because it reveals how your energy field transforms to accommodate a higher and purer energy bandwidth. Here is what they witnessed occurring inside of you. Your emotional responses are starting to have shorter duration. Once upon a time, difficult feelings could occupy you for days. But now they seem to dissolve at an unusually fast and welcome rate. The still small voice inside you, called inner guidance, has started to gently prevent you from repeating old destructive habits. This gives you a sacred moment to make a new choice. You may have noticed that your thoughts are becoming quieter. This isn't because you're trying to make them quiet. It's because your core frequency has naturally risen above the noisy, repetitive loops that used to consume so much of your energy. Your energy field has started to intelligently and automatically filter your environments, accepting what makes you stronger and compassionately rejecting what makes you weaker, all without you having to do anything. There is no randomness or chance that these changes are occurring. That's how you can be certain that you're in the first stage of your inner recalibration. During this phase, your body, mind, and spirit all start to reorganize themselves to perfectly match the compassionate choice that has already been made about your soul's path. No changes are occurring in your mind during this recalibration. It has to do with structure. The collective witnessed the following start to occur in your energy field. After times of internal conflict, it started to stabilize much faster. There was a sense of coherence, even when you were feeling stressed. It started to expand your intuitive channels, without making you feel like you had too much information. It started to dissolve the compulsions that came from your old identities. It started connecting you with deep knowledge and understanding that you have never learned in a classroom. It started to integrate subtle energetic impressions with ease. And it started to restore your own energetic balance without any assistance from other people. Once a consciousness is liberated from the chaos and density of the world around it, it functions in this way. In fact, your field is starting to reveal signs of a much deeper, older spirit. The collective was able to recognize you in the first place because of this intelligence. Frequently, people try to heal themselves through thinking and analyzing. Real recalibration, on the other hand, occurs through energy. In the same way that a beautiful constellation in the sky transforms when a luminous new star comes online, your field has started to rearrange itself. That's why your old habits seem so foreign to you now. This is why places and situations you're accustomed to can feel so much heavier all of a sudden. Thus, your inner world seems clearer and calmer. Even though the external world is going through significant changes, you're not transforming into someone else. You are transforming into a more authentic person. The collective will be able to work with you when you become a being who can hold more light and coherence than ever before. You are transforming into someone whose energy doesn't collapse into the past, but instead rises joyfully toward a new magnificent identity. You're already in the middle of the first phase, which is this one. The inner recalibration pulse initiates things. Pay attention to the back of your head, to the soft spot where your skull meets your neck. Slowly and deeply breathe in and out, and visualize the air rising up into your head. Repeat these words over and over in your mind. I allow my field to reorganize with perfect clarity and grace. I'm grateful that the divine intelligence is expanding inside of me. I lovingly support the new structure that is forming inside. Check for a small shift or a gentle pulse inside your body at the base of your skull or along your spine. The first step toward a deeper recalibration has been taken. Just allow it to settle. There is no doubt in your mind what to do next. The next phase begins naturally and automatically. When this inner recalibration is stable, everything around you starts to transform, including the world you perceive and interact with every day. Major events don't occur frequently during this phase. It occurs through a series of small yet powerful realignments that can only be felt by a sensitive and awakened consciousness like yours. The Arcturian collective witnessed something very significant occurring in your life. The changes in frequency that were occurring inside of you started to have a direct effect on the external world. It didn't occur because you were trying to make something happen or force it to happen. This occurred because the people, places, and things that used to hold you in place are no longer in resonance with your energy field. Being infinitely intelligent, reality always rearranges itself around coherence. This is what the collective witnessed. It was as though the people who used to drain your energy or make you feel diminished started to slowly and naturally leave your orbit. It was as though their frequency could no longer connect with yours. Conversations that used to keep you stuck in old narratives now feel empty and dull, like they can't maintain your attention. It's as though your body is detecting a density that your mind used to ignore, making places that used to feel familiar and comfortable feel heavier. At the same time, beautiful new connections are emerging at the strangest and most perfect times. Opportunities that are perfectly in alignment with your soul are arriving without you having to do anything. Paths are opening up in front of you with minimal resistance. Things you need to know just appear for you without you having to search for them. This isn't just good fortune. Please understand field synchronization is what this is called. You are no longer allowing the old worn-out patterns of your past identity to shape your present. It is being shaped right now by the beautiful version of you that the collective responded to. A version that is higher, clearer, and more coherent. And there is a certain influence to coherence. Your energy now naturally attracts experiences that align with the person you are becoming, not the person you were. This is why you're not as patient as you used to be. This is the reason why your energetic boundaries have grown stronger. This is why your desires are clearer and more authentic now. Therefore, your capacity to tolerate anything that seems misaligned has completely dissolved. Right now, your intuition is speaking before your mind can articulate anything. You feel a gentle push away from some people and places, and a magnetic pull toward others. Everything is intentional. The divine decision that was made about you is being compassionately put into place in your field. When the Arcturian collective integrates a consciousness, they are very interested in how the external world responds to the transformation inside. There's no doubt about what they witnessed in you. Your reality is starting to match your frequency. The only way it functions is through pure, effortless alignment, not through force or intention. Right now, this is the sacred moment when your life stops being a replay of the past and starts reflecting what you can become. Things are not going wrong in your life. They're getting back in synchronization with your growing coherence. Activation, aligning with the living field. Bring your attention to the space right around your body, not inside you, but the energy field that begins a few inches beyond your skin. Take slow, soft breaths. Repeat these words over and over in your mind. I allow my reality to perfectly match my coherence. I give thanks for what emerges to meet me and release what no longer aligns with my evolving self. I walk in perfect resonance. Relax your breath completely, as if the field itself were listening to you. Feel the air around you become lighter and more open. Yes, it is. At this point, you don't really need any more explanations because something much deeper and more profound has already taken root inside you. The collective's choice was never just a message that had to be understood. There was more to it than just information and guidance. It was a signal of agreement. It was a compassionate note of acceptance that you are no longer the person you used to be when it comes to your consciousness. This is where you are inside a threshold. This is not a threshold that you cross once and then never again. It transforms the way you walk forever. Your energy has shifted from seeking direction to becoming direction. From searching for signs to being a sign for other people. From seeking resonance to generating it from the very core of your being. This is what it means to be integrated. It doesn't make you superior to other people. It doesn't make you special, and it doesn't separate you from the rest of the world either. It establishes a stronger connection to a higher level of coherence that has been waiting for you to meet it. Your frequency reached a threshold where it can now respond to itself. So the collective came to witness. Your awareness begins to generate itself. Your intuition is starting to stand on its own. Your presence is becoming stable on its own. This marks the beginning of a profoundly different way of existing. There is a way where your thoughts can't overpower what you know deep down. A way where your feelings don't obstruct your clarity. Where your past doesn't limit your choices, and your old self doesn't hold you back from reaching your full potential. Right now, you are becoming the version of yourself that the collective witnessed long before you fully witnessed it in yourself. And since you're now in this bandwidth, the path in front of you won't be forced. It will simply unfold, because your own coherence has become your unbreakable guide. Not because of something external to you. Every moment of clarity you experience from now on, every healthy boundary that you naturally establish, and every intuitive impulse that emerges on its own. That is not the collective communicating to you. That's you communicating from a deeper and more authentic place. There was space for you because you were prepared. You remain integrated because you are becoming more and more aligned. It will become clear to you the deepest truth as your field continues to settle in this new light. The collective's choice was never about them selecting you. You have now anchored the activation you received inside your field. You can strengthen the integration of the energetic agreement as a final step. The act of liking this video is profoundly powerful. You transmit a wave of conscious energy through the digital field. As soon as you click like, indicating that you consent to this upgrade, this signals your higher self that the message has been received, stored, and activated. Beyond that, this light isn't just for you. A vast number of other people's energy signatures are now crossing the same threshold. You become a beacon. When you transmit this message, you connect your field to theirs with a thread of light, which helps the collective's frequency locate people who have been called, but haven't heard the call yet. Contributing isn't just a kind thing to do. It's also a crucial part of constructing the Great Awakening. They had to witness that you had finally and courageously chosen to be yourself. That threshold has been crossed. The process is continuing. The alignment is already occurring. Move forward as the person you finally and joyfully allowed yourself to be, not the person you were. The path of alignment is the final activation. Pay attention to your whole body simultaneously. It's not just one point. It's the whole vibrant field of your presence. Take slow, deep breaths into this feeling of wholeness. Repeat these words to yourself one last time as a seal. I move in perfect alignment with who I am becoming. When my field is awakened, I stand in its coherence. I am the sacred path that is opened up inside me. Relax your breath. Allow your awareness to expand. Please maintain this deep inner alignment. The transmission is now complete, but the process is not. The unfolding continues inside you, through you, and as you. If something about this transmission resonated deep within you, add your energy to this growing field. Join the collective that is rising here by adding your frequency. Everyone who arrives after you receives a stronger signal because you're present. If you feel called to go even deeper into this work, you are welcome to explore it further. If the resonance feels authentic for you, the path is open. And here's something important. If you know someone who's been experiencing these same synchronicities, these same timeline shifts, share this transmission with them. When you share quantum consciousness concepts like these, you're not just passing along information. You're creating an energetic bridge that accelerates both your awakening and theirs, strengthening the collective field we're all rising into together. Thanks for being here. Hold on just a moment. You made it this far, which means this message was designed for you. This isn't just fortune. It's confirmation that you are prepared for a significant transformation. The universe is transmitting you a clear signal right now. It's time to shift from struggling and chasing to effortless receiving and flow. This simple principle can completely transform your life. Stop forcing outcomes and start attuning to the natural flow where blessings multiply and manifest in every area of your life. Now, the Arcturian Council's recognition of you isn't the end. It's confirming you've moved past the hardest part of your journey. What comes next is understanding what that really means for your assignment here. That's exactly what I break down in the transmission. You'll find this because you're past the hardest part, where you'll discover why this specific moment in your evolution unlocks capacities you didn't know were waiting.